Oh, morning, Reds. Don't know how your night's sleep went. I could barely sleep last night after that. It was just, we were suffering, weren't we? That was really, really bad. So many occasions this season we've kind of rocked up and just either not performed or not finished our dinner or not done what we should be doing. And I did mention it in the preview, didn't I? That, like, you know, if we didn't show up and if we weren't ready for this physicality that comes in a derby against Everton at Goodison, we would fall short, and that's kind of what happened. Went out, and from minute one, it just didn't feel right. That midfield changes and stuff like that, was it the right thing to do after performance so well at Fulham? But just really, really, really frustrating night, and it just unfolded and got worse and worse and worse. And we got dragged down into it. We huffed and we puffed. We tried to play our game, but props to Everton, they were so good last night, and we just weren't up for it. And it's sad, really, when you think you have a team there that's in the midst of a title race. And I know we'll feel as Liverpool fans, we were kind of hanging in there as well. We weren't really hitting our straps. We were trying to get through week after week after week and just stay in and around it. This dominance that City have had, and obviously Arsenal doing really well this year. It's just really, really frustrating. And the consumption of trying to do things to give the right way, to give the gaffer a send off. And then injuries again. We really needed Jota there last night. We needed his kind of shithousery and physicality to battle back against that situation, and it just didn't happen. And it's really, really frustrating. Words kind of fail me at the moment. I'm so disappointed. The players should be really disappointed in themselves. No one really performed last night. McAllister tried his best. Diaz ran around as much as he could. But other than that, really, performances were really, really poor. Selection was really, really poor. The subs are just bewildering. You've Jaden Dans there on the bench, is absolutely banging in the goals for the junior team. And you bring on Gomez and Costa Simicus. What are they going to offer you? Bring on Jaden Dans. Mo Salah, a pale shadow of the Mo Salah that was before Christmas. Literally has done very little since the turn of the new year. Was away at AFCON, came back injured, has looked a pale shadow of himself. Darwin Núñez, is he coachable? Will he ever be able to deliver what we want? Questions over that. And there's just been so much going on. Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes coming back into the club. For me, Michael Edwards coming back into the club was definitely the definition of Klopp and where Klopp stood and stuff like that and all. And then you hear all the stuff coming out this week. We've been consumed by the managerial situation. Obviously disappointing, not agreeing something with Alonso. Then Amran trying to hold us over a barrel with West Ham, and then talk coming out that he wouldn't have the power that he would want in terms of player recruitment, which we knew was going to happen with Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes coming in anyway. So we're not really looking for a manager, we're looking for a coach, and these boys are going to put a plan together as to who comes in, and the coach will have a certain amount of input in that. Looks like it's going to be Arnie Slot. There's been various reactions to that on social media and all that kind of stuff. I don't know the guy. I don't watch the Dutch league. I seen he won a league and he won a cup. I don't know anything about him. I don't know his style. I haven't looked at anything, so there's no point in me really commenting on him. But certainly, no matter who you bring in, was more or less going to be a step down for Klopp. But it's pittering out into a really poor end to the season. We're kind of going out on a whimper. You heard Virgil last night talking about players looking at themselves in the mirror. The time to do that was 6 weeks ago, really, 5-6 weeks ago. These players got together, said they were going to walk and run through walls for the gaffer. Hasn't really happened, has it? If anything, it's regressed. And it's just a kind of a sad end to an era for Jurgen Klopp, who has given us some unbelievable moments. People will argue that the trophy hall hasn't been what it should have been for many different reasons. And I think when we look back on Jurgen's era at Liverpool, delivering a Champions League and a league and cups, and that it'll definitely be an era that we look back on as a missed opportunity, where the trophy hall should have been so much more. And that's what's really disappointing. And it's sad to see him go out this way. You seen his interview last night and post match, and he turned around and he said, like, he was asked about the title race and all, and he says he kind of made the point, kind of championship winning teams don't play like we play tonight, and it's true. And we've been getting away with it, you know. The disappointment of the United games, the 3 United games this season have been so poor. Going out of the FA Cup the way we did, now dropping a clanger in the Merseyside derby, dropping the Europa to Atalanta in the way that we did, and we've just showed a weakness that I suppose probably on the underlining side probably existed anyway, because we know, Darren has said it many times, that Klopp is the superstar at the club, and that these players play probably 20 to 30% better than they're capable of doing because of Klopp and his motivation. And maybe we look back at the timing of announcing his exit from the club and whether that was the right thing to do. Could have been kept under wraps. Could, if it leaked out, could it have been denied? Didn't really probably motivate the way it should have. And so disappointing. You look at Trent last night, just putting his head in his jersey. Really feel for the kid, you know, and as decisions going to be made there. Could we see Trent going off to Real? Could we see a number of these players exiting the building? And then we're into a massive job for Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes to fix that if some serious players and key players start going out the door. Is there a lot of players there last night that just showed that they're done? Is it an end of an era for more than just Klopp? Should we be replacing a lot of these players now? Are they just not good enough? Will they ever get to be good enough? You know, you look at the Jota situation. Fantastic when he plays, clinical, scoring goals, always aggressive in his play, but struggles to stay fit. Can we be carrying those guys? We've seen it with Thiago and players like that. But it's a real poignant moment for us as fans and also for the club. We are one, and it's a difficult situation now, and it's a poor end to what has been at times an incredible journey. And I just think a number of these players now at this stage have probably ran their course. And it's no disrespect to them. A lot of them have given us some great moments, and we respect them for that. And you can see that even in poor moments like the Palace game I was at and various other games, they still get that support that they need. But maybe it's time to maybe get a little bit more ruthless. Maybe it's time to look at these situations and go, listen, thanks, but it's time to go, you know. And it depends on what FSG's plan is and what money is available and what money Michael Edwards can generate and all that kind of thing. But it really was last night was telling, you know, because we really capitulated. We cowered out of the game. We didn't fancy the battle. We didn't want it. And it's hard to believe that a team that was battling relegation, and fair play to Everton, even with the points deduction and all, was able to show up, and us, second in the league, battling for a title, could be so poor against them. Dominic Calvert-Lewin picking a night to show up was outstanding. The Everton team from 1 to 11 was really outstanding, you know. They kind of battled hard. They won most of the battles. They controlled a lot of the game, and while we huffed and puffed and tried to create stuff, we really failed miserably. And it's telling now, because now it's time to look at so much more than just a managerial situation. West Ham now at the weekend, 12:30 early lunchtime kickoff. A win last night would have made that a nice game to go into, where we could play before Arsenal and before Man City, put even more points on the board. But would anyone be confident now going down to London to play West Ham away? As poor as they've been, with talk of Moyes going out the door and all. I just think that's going to be a difficult one as well. And I just see the season petering out now. I think the title race has become a 2-horse race now. Mathematically we're still in it, but in reality we're not. We've been clinging on. And it's just so tough to take. It's the most disappointing end to a season that we could have. You know, we thought last season was poor. Okay, this season we'll probably finish top 4. And all I hear on social media is I hear about overperforming, and we've overperformed and all this thing. The performing of the team is assessed as we go along. We set an expectation at the start of the season, but that has to get reevaluated all the time as you go along. And at times we've overperformed when the kids have come in and when we've had to battle through those injury times and all. It's been outstanding. But when it really came down to it, we underperformed. When you're in a title race and you let it slip the way we've done, you underperform. And it's a season we should have looked back on with fondness in sending the gaffer off the right way and potentially bagging a number of trophies. But I think we'll look back on this season as being a real failure. I think the high points are the youth players that have come through and shown us that they're more than capable to have a place in the squad. I think we could also look at it and we could say, maybe was it Jurgen's time to leave maybe last season? Should we have sold Mo Salah in the summer? Who knows? Easy to look back on it now, difficult in the moment. But certainly it looks like a number of these players will be exiting the building. The talk of Diaz linked with Barcelona. The talk of Salah again linked with Saudi Arabia. And obviously questions over Darwin. You know, and a lot of heat and a lot of crap being thrown at Cody Gakpo last night because he was away having a baby with his wife. I don't know what these kind of people are like that think that that's a problem. These are the same people that probably 4 or 5 weeks ago were saying, "Oh, Gakpo's got to go," when he was going through a tough time. So it doesn't make any sense. And it's a very fragmented, reactory kind of fan base at the moment. So who knows what the future holds. If Arnie comes in, it could be brilliant, it could be a disaster, who knows. But one thing as Reds we'll always do is whatever the change is, we'll get behind it and we'll support it fully. So Reds, we're hurt and we're wounded and we're down, but we're not out. We'll go again on Saturday lunchtime against West Ham and we'll see where it takes us. For me, I think the title race at this stage is over. I don't see us winning outright till the end of the season. I think Spurs could do a number on us at Anfield as well. So we've got some really tough games. Aston Villa away. How can you play like you played yesterday and expect to go to Villa Park and beat Aston Villa, who are absolutely on the up at the moment? Red, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video. We'll keep with it. This season is petering out. To be very, very disappointing. Feels like we just need to get it done now at this stage. Talk to you again real soon. Cheers, Reds.